So I've been playing a lot of Star Wars Squadrons. You dirty rebel scum! The might of the Empire reigns supreme! I know I shouldn't call my starfighter sexy, but my god, that starfighter is sexy.
I'll never recover from this.
Yeah? Will your windows recover from this? Dick. Okay, let's get this off. Oh, where were we? We good? Okay. That's right, I've been pretty much non-stop playing the all-new Starfighter simulator from EA Games. Who knew EA had it in them to make a good Star Wars game? I sure didn't. Sorry, Battlefront 2 fans. And on top of that, The Mandalorian just started dropping its new episodes for the second season, so I figured it was a good time to make a video on Star Wars. Disney's Lucasfilm's Star Wars Rogue One, A Star Wars Story is, as you can probably tell from the title, Lucasfilm's first attempt to make a standalone Star Wars film separate from the main 9 episodes. Technically 9 episodes. Plus that animated Clone Wars one, but we don't speak about that one, even the Clone Wars fans.
Oh, he's just a baby. Oh, he's so cute.
Rogue One was an experiment, for better and for worse. It was largely received very well by the general fan base, and I myself do enjoy it as a film. And if we're going to be talking about what films in the Star Wars universe I do and don't enjoy, I should probably put up my ranking right there. I mean, my ranking is really constantly changing. Also, that's probably inaccurate. It's more accurate to say it looks more like this. Rogue One as a film exists to answer a simple question. Why did the Galactic Empire create a huge battle station capable of being destroyed by a well-placed proton torpedo?
You just zip in, follow a straight line, and fire!
Why would they do that?
You got me, but isn't it great?
Rogue One was generally well received when it came out, and is still some people's favorite Star Wars movie. And while I do enjoy Rogue One, especially the back third of it, it's not without its problems. Now, a lot of people a lot smarter than me on YouTube have tackled this film's problems to death. If you want a really good recommendation, I do recommend checking out Lady Knight the Brave's video essay, A Flawed Masterpiece. The link is in the description below. Some of the fixes are simple. Beef up the character arcs, give Jyn Erso an actual character instead of one that rubber bands from one cause to another, and please cut the unnecessary fan service, especially where it doesn't make any sense at all.
So, like, Admiral Raddus boards the Profundity and leaves for Scarif, and the rest of the Rebel fleet scrambles fighters to join the assault, but R2 and 3PO are on Yavin 4, but the Tantive 4 is docked with the Profundity for long-term repairs, and when the battle goes south, the Tantive 4 leaves for Tatooine, and then how did R2 and 3PO actually get on board the ship so they could be there for A New Hope? And oh my god, my brain hurts!
But again, all of this has been covered before. But I do think I've come up with a good fix for one of the film's most glaring issues, one that I think is completely indefensible and really won't last the test of time. I'm talking, of course, about Zombie Tarkin.
Nightline was granted exclusive access inside ILM's San Francisco mothership to see how this sci-fi stronghold brought back 19-year-old Carrie Fisher before she passed away last week, and Peter Cushing, who died in 1994.
Prepare for the jump to hyperspace and inform Lord Vader.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Whoever came up with this idea and whoever greenlit it should never be allowed to work in Hollywood again, as far as I'm concerned. It's incredibly disrespectful to the memory of Peter Cushing, and kind of crappy to Guy Henry as well, the actor who portrayed him in the film. I mean, big deal, he doesn't look exactly like Grand Moff Tarkin. Did Zachary Quinto look exactly like Spock? No, but most people still bought it. I mean, I did in the last movie. It was even more nauseating when they did it later in the film with Princess Leia, especially considering the film came out only weeks before Carrie Fisher's untimely death. But at least that cameo was only for a split second. With Grand Moff Tarkin, they kept bringing him back again and again for scene after scene. It would have been different if it was a one-scene cameo, but he just kept having screen time. Every time Zombie Tarkin is on screen, it pushes the audience straight out of the movie and right over the cliff into the uncanny valley. Still, the fact they did it again in episode 9 and the way they talk about it in the behind-the-scenes footage goes to show that they're really proud of this effect and the way it was implemented, even though I don't think they should be at all. So how do we fix this? Let's first assume that I am a budding scriptwriter working on this film. They've commissioned me to do the rewrites on Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. I would never hire myself for such a position, but stranger things have happened. I mean, they keep hiring the guy who wrote Batman vs. Superman.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Why did you say that name?
Zombie Tarkin must be included. The studio has demanded it. John Knoll and his sycophants are dead set on doing this, and I, the lowly scriptwriter, must make it work. Well, I have come up with a simple idea that I think would make this whole thing a little more palatable while also fixing a plot inconsistency that we find in Star Wars A New Hope. I mean, this whole movie exists to fix a plot hole in that movie anyway, so why not fix another one while we're at it? All throughout this movie, Tarkin exists as a supervisor to his underling, Krennic, taking him to task for his mistakes and blaming him for his every failure. He's domineering, disrespectful, suffers zero bullshit, and is completely in charge. And sure, that sounds like Tarkin, but it also sounds like somebody else we know. The first benefit here is obvious. Marketing. Nothing puts butts in seats better than Darth frickin' Vader. He's in all the merchandise, he ignited a fire under the second season of Star Wars Rebels, and his scene in this movie, the massacre with the rebel soldiers, is apparently everybody's favorite moment in the film. I don't think anybody would complain about more Darth Vader in this film, especially if it serves the narrative more in some way, which, as you're about to see, I think it does. The second benefit here is just as obvious. James Earl Jones is still alive to do the voice. Peter Cushing is not. You don't even have to pay the guy to put on the suit. Somebody else can wear it on the set, and you just have to pay him for a few days of voice work. It'd save you tons of money. Vader's also the kind of guy who will single-mindedly pursue a goal with no regard to consequences or collateral damage. Remember the asteroid chase in Empire Strikes Back when he sacrifices entire Star Destroyers to the goal of pursuing one tiny spice freighter? And it seems in that film that literally no one in the entire galaxy is allowed to or able to get between Vader and his whims. Well, that brings us to our next issue, which is how to fix the anomalous power imbalance present in A New Hope.
Who are you playing?
Vader, release him.
As you wish.
It never really sat well with me in A New Hope that this guy got to talk to this guy as if he was this guy. And it's not just Tarkin either. There are a few other Imperial officers in that film that talk to Lord Vader in a really disrespectful manner and just sort of get away with it. Obviously, there's the guy he chokes in the conference room, but look at this.
Holding her is dangerous. Word of this gets out, it could generate sympathy for the rebellion in the Senate.
Now she is my only link to finding their secret base.
She'll die before she'll tell you anything.
For the rest of the series, anybody else in an Imperial officer uniform either cows before Vader like his life depends on it, or gets choked into oblivion. Even Krennic gets choked out in one of the best dad jokes of all time. Vader gets to kill anybody he wants with his brain. Why does Grand Moff Tarkin get to mouth off to him like he's his whipping boy?
Vader, release him.
As you wish.
The IRL answer is simple. When George Lucas first wrote the movie, he wasn't envisioning Vader with this grand destiny. He was just an upgraded stormtrooper with a few wizard powers. He was never meant to be this saga-spanning bad guy. He was just the villain of the movie. It wasn't until Empire Strikes Back that he gained this supreme authority and the tragic backstory that makes him this compelling character he is today. But as a result, his appearance in A New Hope doesn't exactly match up to his reputation in every other piece of Star Wars media. With the exception of that aforementioned guy in the staff meeting, why does everyone in 4 yet to treat Vader like an underling? Well, in this version of Rogue One, where Tarkin is replaced by Vader, the answer is simple. Darth Vader just blew up every secret intelligence project the Galactic Empire had. And Daddy Emperor is pissed.
Oh, are you me?
The installation at Scarif, and I'm quoting Wikipedia here, is the Center for Research, Structural Engineering, Munitions, and Manufacturing for the Death Star project. It also contained data on some of the Empire's most classified projects, which had they reached completion might have secured the fate of the galaxy in the Empire's favor. And in the climax of Rogue One, Grand Moff Tarkin just blows it all up with zero consequences? I guarantee if the head general of the US Army nuked the Pentagon, he'd have his head on a spike. Or at least have his ass fired. And yes, I did just compare the United States military-industrial complex to the evil Galactic Empire because... yes. And yet Tarkin just blows up the installation, killing all hands there and isn't immediately disciplined and replaced? He of all people should know the importance of the data that's stored there. But you know who doesn't give a flying flock about data and installations? Darth freaking Vader, that's who. So the solution here is simple. Have Vader be in charge of the Death Star project at the beginning. Let him be the aggressive browbeater who makes Krennic's life a living hell. Have him be the one who commits the catastrophic faux pas of turning the Death Star super laser on Scarif base. Then, if you really want to have your zombie Tarkin in the movie, have him show up for one scene at the very end to knock down Vader's door. Have him tell the big guy that the Emperor is much displeased with the situation. I have orders to remove you from the Death Star project and install myself as the new director. And then from that moment until the Death Star blows up, Grand Moff Tarkin has supreme authority over Darth Vader. This way, the fans get more Darth Vader, the series as a whole makes more sense, and John Knoll and his cronies get their precious digital husk of the late Grand Moff Tarkin. Just for 10 to 20 seconds, not for entire scenes of screen time. I'm pretty sure Grand Moff Tarkin gets more play in this film than some of the movie's main characters. There you go! Movie saved! Huzzah! Oh, and cut the Borgullet. What the hell were they thinking there? Also, am I the only one who was a little disappointed that Rogue One was about a team of spies instead of the squadron that gives the movie its name? Probably not, since in 2019 Lucasfilm published Alphabet Squadron by Alexander Freed. If you haven't read it, check it out. It's basically Rogue One, but with fire pilots and character development.